Hi, and welcome to the little apartment on the prairie. It is Saturday morning here. It'll probably be Sunday or Monday before this video actually gets posted and you'll see it, but it is Saturday morning here. It's about 9:15, and I just took Isaac for a nice long walk. I had a cup of coffee with my neighbor this morning. We often visit for a little bit first thing in the morning. And I put a load of laundry in, and now I'm ready to get started on my work of the day. Although first I think I'm going to get myself a cup of coffee, because the day always goes better with coffee. Sassy, you do not need to be on the counter. This cat is into everything. I am having chocolate raspberry flavored coffee this morning. It is so good. I have nosy cats who want to get into everything. And I'm going to grab some milk. My throat's still a little bit, I don't know. I'm not completely over this cough yet. Which reminds me I have an antibiotic I need to take. So I've got raw milk to add to my coffee. And I think I'm just going to get to work on my kitchen some more today. I want to get the rest of my pantry cleaned out. I'm not sure that's going to happen in one day. I also have some stuff I need to do in my refrigerator. That sounds a little funny. My refrigerator is a little overcrowded since I went grocery shopping yesterday. And I've got my 5-pound bag of cheese in there. I need to break down into smaller bags so I can get all but 1 pound of it in the freezer. And I've got some dishes to do, and I might bake some cookies later. I haven't decided. But I thought you could hang out with me while I get to work on the kitchen. So I think to start with, I've got this dried milk, which I got from the food pantry. And I've got 4 12-ounce bags of it, which makes 4 quarts of dry milk, I think. And I think I'm going to put it in glass jars to store it. Partly because I've got these jars. Sassy, do not chew on that bag, you bad cat. You see all my jars along the top of my cabinets? You can't see them real great in this light, but I love the way they look. On the end there, I've got some really old ones that have the tops. They have like the bale wire, and they would have glass tops, but I only have the top to one of them. Anyway, I have a lot of these jars that are really old. I got for free. People were throwing them out. But I've got lots of jars, so it makes sense to store things in them. Especially since I'm running out of places to put them in my kitchen. So I have a step stool because if I try and climb on this counter, I'm liable to fall and break my neck. And I think I'm just going to put, the milk in a couple of these. And I also have, you know what? I'm going to have to wash these first because they're dusty. Alright, so I'm going to wash a couple of jars. And then I have to let them dry all the way before I can put the milk in them. So that's still what I will do today. It just won't happen. I won't put the milk in them right now. If you like canning, or you just like to store things in jars, or you just like the way jars look, you can find people getting rid of jars really cheap or free on Facebook Marketplace or local buy and sell groups. And I have found a lot of times they're in pretty rotten condition. I mean, the glass isn't rotten, but they're in bad condition. They're stored in old boxes in barns or garages or sheds. People don't know how long they've been there. Sometimes there's old product jars, you know, a spaghetti sauce jar or a peanut butter jar that's in there too. And so I have one box of jars that was free. People were throwing them out, and there are some really old jars in there, and just great jars in there. They were sitting by the side of the road in front of a storage facility. But you could see that a mouse had made a nest in one of the jars, And I found dead spiders and all kinds of stuff in the jars. But they're free or super cheap if you need canning jars. And I love the old jars anyway. I'd rather have the old jars than the new ones. I just really like the idea that, you know, 100 years ago, someone was canning in these jars. I just think it's the coolest idea. Isaac's asking for a treat in his Kong. It's the coolest idea, and even if you don't can, it's great for storing dry goods. You can put dog treats in them. You can put all kinds of stuff in them. Which I am going to put some, I have some dog treats in this jar, but I have this big bag of dog treats that I need to put in a jar as well. So, all right. When I wash dishes, I'm going to wash those jars. I have a gallon jug of water that has some lime and cranberry in it, and it's been in the back of my refrigerator for a while. I'm going to pour this out, strain out the fruit, and add it to my compost bin. And I'm going to do a whole video about my compost bin. I compost with worms. I have a worm bin in my apartment. There's probably 2,000 worms in that bin. It's in an old plastic tote that I got for $5 at Family Dollar. And it sounds creepy. It's not. It creeped me out when I first got the worms, but it's not creepy. It's really cool. They eat a lot of my food scraps. The other food scraps I give to a neighbor who has a job at a hog farm, and he takes the scraps to the hogs. But I'm going to give out these limes and cranberries and some coffee grounds to my worms today. And I'm going to do a whole video about the worm bin at some point in the future. Well, hi again. It is going on 2 p.m. and other than washing a few dishes, I've really accomplished nothing in my kitchen. It's just been that kind of day. It's a gorgeous day out. It's about 40 degrees out and sunny and no wind, which is unusual in Nebraska. You know how they call Chicago the windy city? Nebraska is a windy state. I don't know if it's the windy state. Maybe there are windier ones, but it is windy here. So there's no wind today and it's just gorgeous out. I've taken the dog for like 3 walks and he just wants to be outside, and I love it out there too. I hung up my laundry. I cut up some meat for the dog. I had to run to the bank to get some money from the ATM because one of my neighbors, her granddaughter is selling Girl Scout cookies, and well, who doesn't want Girl Scout cookies? But it's an organization I really like to support anyway, and the fact that I get cookies for doing so is just an added bonus. I don't know if you all heard that Girl Scouts recently turned down, I believe it was a $100,000 donation from some organization or company that wanted to donate money, but they wanted a promise that none of the money would be used to provide services or support for transgender girls. And so, yay for them. The Girl Scouts said, no, we don't want your money. We are here for all girls. And so that's an organization that is really worth supporting. But it's not getting my kitchen clean. So I'm going to see what's on the other side of my pantry, I guess. I've got this big giant thing of sugar in my floor blocking my pantry door to keep the kitten out because she learned to get in there and make a mess. So it's a pain every time I try to open the door. So I've got all this baking stuff in here, and I think some of it needs to go in this cupboard that I have under my counter, and that might help some. I don't even know what's in this cupboard. Man, it's bad when you don't even know what's in your cupboard. I've got cornstarch. There's cornbread mix. I'm going to want to know where that is. I have... What do I have? Fruit pectin. Which I've got a canning cupboard where that ought to go. It shouldn't even be down here. What, Isaac? Bring me your toy. You need a treat? Isaac needs a treat. The kitten wants attention. Isaac has been eating too many treats. You see me giving him treats all the time because he barks when I'm talking because he knows I'll give him a treat to shut him up. So I've taught him that, and it's a really bad habit, and I'm going to have to get him out of that habit because it's bad. One of my cats, not the kitten, the older cat, is getting ready to go on a diet. There are going to be some unhappy creatures in this house. Alright, so I have these plastic lids that go on cans. I've got a whole tub of lids. And I think I'm going to take that whole tub out of my pantry and sort out my lids because I can't find lids. Mostly they're the flat lids and rings that you use when you can. Look, this whole big tub full of lids. And then I've got more canning lids. And I'm standing in water. I think the dog dribbled water on the floor. Like I've got 2 boxes of open lids. Why do I have 2 boxes of open lids? Do you all do that? Like you open something and you don't realize it's open, so then you open another one. And then you end up with all these open boxes and packages. Here's another open box of lids. This is why I need to organize lids. Okay. I've got dry milk here. And then I've got these other little packets of dry milk. See, and if I set this on the table and just walk away from it, my kitten's going to chew on the bags of dry milk. I know she is because that's what she does. All right, this makes 4 cups of dry milk. These little ones, I mean, I thought I would use them for baking, but they also might be good for emergency kind of things. I don't see any kind of an expiration date on them. How long do you think dry milk is good for? Like instant dry milk powder? And this is a 1 serving package. There's a couple more 1 serving packages. How long would dry milk powder be good for, do you think, if there's no expiration date on it? Because that could be good for like emergency kind of things. I'm gonna like just shove it in this. I have a picture. I'm shoving it in here for right now for a place to put it. I think I've got some tubs I can like store it in, but if it's gonna last for a while, I'm gonna keep it in the individual packages because that would be good for emergency kind of things. I have some chia seeds. I have chia seeds, and I think I've got another chia seeds somewhere else. Why do I have a million different packets of chia seeds? I do not know. And I've got napkins in here, and there is a reason I moved the napkins in there, and I don't remember what it was. So I use cloth napkins instead of paper napkins, like, you know, at the dinner table. I bought them all at thrift stores, just a couple at a time when I found them really cheap. And normally they go in this basket, which happens to be where my other packet of chia seeds is. And I remember now I stuck it in there to get it away from the kitten who wanted to chew on the bag. Okay, so normally I have this basket that sits on top of my microwave, and it holds cloth napkins. And it looks okay, it keeps them all in order. This is the napkin thing I put over top of my bread when the bread dough's rising. All right, Isaac, shush. We're getting whiskers. Like the last thing I needed is a big fat whisker cat on the table. We're getting somewhere now. So I found another package of pectin that's almost empty in this cupboard. And I think the reason I was putting pectin in the pantry is because, see, it's right by my stove. And that's convenient when I'm canning because I'm standing at the stove. But when I'm not canning, it doesn't need to be by the stove. So maybe I need to get like a tub to put canning things in that I can just pull over there in the summertime when I'm canning, because, you know, it's convenient then, but it's not convenient the rest of the time. And this dry milk, mostly I use in baking, so it probably needs to go in the baking. I've got like a baking cupboard. And then I've got, this is sucralose, it's like generic Splenda. It should go in the baking cupboard too, which I'm going to have to clean out one day too, but that's not today, right? So, okay. I've got some assorted jars, which this seems like it might be a good place to put them. These little I've got 4-ounce jars and some 8-ounce jars that I use more for like salves and stuff than for food, but sometimes they're good for, you know, if you have a single serving of something. I don't know. I'm going to stick them in this corner for the moment. There's kind of a lot of them. I didn't realize I had that many. This is a problem when your pantry is a big mess like this. You don't know what's in it and how much of whatever's in it. And I've got one 8-ounce jar, and I don't know where it needs to go. All right. Got a sugar cookie mix that was on sale because it was expired, but like it just expired a couple months ago, so it's still usable, but I need to use it soon. And I'm throwing that in the baking cupboard right now. And I have a bag of instant mashed potato flakes that I keep thinking maybe I'll make potato pancakes with. But maybe I won't, so maybe I should throw them out, but I don't know. Oh, and I've got some really old marshmallows that, I mean, I eat food if it looks like it's good, if it's expired. Kind of, my thing is, does it look okay? Does it smell okay? And if so, you taste it, does it taste okay? But man, this bag's been opened because half of them are gone. And it expired 18 months ago. No, like 20 months ago. I'm tossing it. Even I have limits. Now it's getting tossed. Alright, and then I have a pint-sized jar. You cats, do you have to sit in the middle of the table and fight? Honestly. It's like, cats are, sometimes they're like having toddlers. I don't know what to do with this jar, but it doesn't go in the pantry. It goes with other canning jars. So, I have a can of milk in here, which I'm going to use for baking because it's from May of last year, and I don't want to keep milk really longer than that. So I need to use it up. All right, dandelion leaves. Okay, other herbal things. This is mullein leaves, which I don't think I'm even going to use, so I'm going to toss those out. Chicory and grapeseed oil that I was going to make a salve with and never have. I think I'm going to throw it out. Plantain and almond oil. I am going to use that for something. Red clover and almond oil. I use that for salves. I'm not sure salve making stuff should be in this pantry, but right now I don't know where else it should be, so it's going to be there. Isaac, shush. Okay, jalapenos. Here's another jar of jalapenos. I need to use those up. They're dried jalapenos. Dried sweet peppers. Dried Hungarian wax peppers, and they're hot. So I've got a bunch of dried peppers. Let's get all those at least kind of together. And I've got some onion powder. You dry onions in the dehydrator, and then I grind it up in a coffee grinder to make my own onion powder. And you wouldn't think it would taste different than store-bought onion powder, but I'm telling you, it does. So, I don't know, now I've got some stuff out of this cupboard. What is this down here on the bottom? Some really old dried kale, which I'm going to mix with some applesauce, and my dog will eat it. This onion powder I'm going to put, I think, in a, like when I make vegetable stock. And these are habanero peppers. They've been in here a long time, too. I need to make something hot and spicy, apparently. And these are raisins, which can go with all these dried cherries. Well, at least I have a lot more room in here now. I've got an empty jar that had yeast in it because I saved the jars. Whiskers, don't chew on the dried milk bags. Seriously. Alright, so I'm going to organize this up a little bit. I'll show you what it looks like when I'm done. All right, I just wanted to show you real quick what I got done in my pantry. I got these 3 middle shelves on the other side done. I've got some flax seeds and chia seeds up here. I've got some dried dandelion leaves. I've got some canned milk. I've got a jar of peach jam and a jar of watermelon pickles. Some jars. I may put those somewhere else, but they're staying right there for now. Down here, I've got some oils infused with herbs, and I've got almond oil and grapeseed oil. I've got dried peppers and onion powder. Got some olive oil. Down here, I've got instant potatoes. I've got that dried milk. I'm trying to decide if it's still good or how long it'll be good for. Some protein bars. A couple more jars. And then let me show you what I did with my lids. So I'm not sure where I'm going to put all these canning lids, but I sorted them out into bags. I've got new lids, used lids, I've got bands, I've got them separated from regular mouth and wide mouth jars. And I think I'm going to put this in the bedroom, my spare bedroom maybe, and just pull it out when I'm canning. Mostly I can in the summertime, but sometimes I do can things in the winter. But anyway, so I'm not sure where I'm putting this tub of stuff right now, but at least it's all sorted out, and I've got more lids than I realized. And that's it for my day of pantry organizing. I didn't get quite as much done as I wanted, but sometimes that happens. Don't forget to like this video if you enjoyed it. Subscribe so you can see more videos, and let me know any organizing tips you have. Have a good evening.